Hello, and thank you for the introduction. Today I'm going to be talking to you about ambassadorships in influencer marketing, except instead of regular ambassadors, I'm going to be speaking about it more as partnerships. So let's get into it. So what's an ambassador and why are they different from an influencer? Well, first of all, they're an influencer, but they're kind of a step above. You use fewer of them in your campaigns due to, the scale of the campaign, the compensation, and the ask. They can do a little bit more than an influencer can since you're going to be using them for a longer period of time. There's longevity, there's ongoing communication, so they can help shape the brand message a little bit more. They also act as a representative of the brand. They can answer questions and speak as an authority. Then also, depending on your brand, they can help shape product design with their feedback, and they could be used in advertising, in commercials or in photography. So what is an ambassador's value? On top of using them for a longer period of time, you have them create extra content than a regular influencer. They can create bigger buzz than a regular influencer can because they will most likely have a larger reach across their blog and social networks to a specific audience that you want to target. And on top of that, they can really help drive traffic to your website from their content and help drive signups and purchases. So what's in it for ambassadors? Why do they do this? Obviously the money. Then on top of that, free product, sometimes, depending on who you are, what your brand is. For trips as well, I know specifically that Microsoft in the past, I've not worked with them, but they have brought their ambassadors to their offices and done workshops in order to help teach the ambassadors and show them these new initiatives and then different office events. Then on top of that, for cross promotion. So they create all this amazing content. It's going to go to waste if you guys don't end up using it. So you use the content, attribute it to them on their social channels, and then they get maybe a little bump in their, their readership because you guys are working with them. However, let me go back for a second. Cross promotion should not be the only form of compensation. Let me just put that out there. All right, moving on. How to make the most out of your ambassadorship. Obviously, you want to analyze your target audience and make sure that that is the target audience of the ambassadors following. Make sure your brand is the right fit for that ambassadorship. If you're a tech brand, you may or may not want to go with a mom blogger. If you're a children's toy maker, then you might want to be doing YouTube stuff with a kid. So it just depends on who their audience is and who your audience is. You want to make sure that your business goals align with your social media goals and the ambassador's contract and what they're going to be doing with you. On top of that, you want to find an ambassador who can create high quality content that you also have the permission to use. Remember what I was saying with cross promotion? That's definitely something that you want to have permission to use. And then on top of that, you can outline specific tasks for them to do, particular pieces of content, specific messaging. So all of that's really valuable. So the whole core of this talk is ambassadorships are great, but you want to take it to the next level and help make them a partner. You don't want to just talk at them, give them things to do. You want to work with them one-on-one. So how to do this? You can stick with your ambassadors for long periods of time, meaning that their content will be familiar with their audience. So, you may be talking about one thing one month, something similar the next month, but it'll continue to resonate with the audience as long as they don't get brand fatigue and overload. So you need to make sure that you're spacing out your content over time. Secondly, I think this is really the most important part, is to brainstorm together based on your goals. You want to utilize their amazing minds. There's a reason you chose them as an ambassador. They've built this amazing blog. They've built this amazing community. So how did they do that? They're pretty smart. So utilize those minds. Figure out what their audience would like together and have them put those pieces together. And that really, really can help you out. And then another thing is to go beyond the blog post. They don't have to be solely online representatives. We've definitely used ambassadors at conferences before to represent you. You can have them go on stage and be in different panels with your team. You can have them do product sessions with you, testing things out, really getting feedback from them. So use them more than just a blog post. Go beyond. So what I'm talking to you today about ambassadorships, I really implemented with Tech Savvy Mama, or Letitia Barr, as you see here, for my client Domain.me. Domain.me is the provider of unique domain names that end in .me. So imagine despicable.me or about.me or fb.me is the shortened URL for Facebook. So what we did with Letitia, first off, the thing that I said that was most important was brainstorming. She was really critical in this aspect because she's so smart. She knows exactly what her audience wants to see. So we started off the campaign with a hard sell, why I'm choosing a .me for my daughter. And then it went into a loose incorporation of the brand to thought leadership. So I'll go over a few of those topics of thought leadership and how we incorporated the brand into that in a minute. So for our blog topics, we gave her a bunch of creative writing prompts and let her go from there. We gave some loose generalizations of what needed to be in it, but we really gave her a lot of creative freedom. We didn't say, here's a press release, post it. So really trusting her to mold the brand and mold that idea there really ended up with some great posts. And yeah, we also let her present her ideas around conference activations to us, and we ended up using them. So, sending her to a conference as an ambassador, and then on top of that, having her write blog posts about her presence there and social shares in order to shore up buzz about the brand both online and offline. So whenever she would meet somebody, she would talk to them about it. So with her also, longevity, we had about a post a month for a couple of months with a break, and then a ramp up around some conferences. So really we worked with her for a long period of time, and still continue to work with her. And we also use her as a conference representative, as I mentioned. So she evangelized for the brand at 2 conferences for us, and while she wasn't an official ambassador at, a following conference, she did come to our booth. She sent people over there, said, this is an amazing brand that I've worked with. You guys should check them out. So while she wasn't official in that capacity for that one conference, she still was, an unofficial ambassador for us because of the relationship that we had built with her over such a long period of time. So that's something that we really appreciate about her, and what you could potentially get with working with influencers after they've been working in this for so long with the brand, then they're going to continue to, want to work with you in the future. So these are some of the blog topics that I said I would talk to you about. Thought leadership. So we did the importance of teaching kids to own their own data, conversations to have with your kids about Instagram, 3 things that help me achieve work-life balance, and 11 tips for taking the best selfies. On top of that, we did a Me Day campaign, and Me Day is March 16th, and it's a day to really embrace yourself and to embrace me and to do things that make you happy, whether or not that's spending more time with your family or going to a spa. She talked about all these different things to, reclaim me, take time to celebrate you, cherishing me moments. So working together with her on how to incorporate me, which is a tech brand, into some non-tech ways, and incorporating thought leadership into that in the tech sphere. Then the results. So yeah, we did all these amazing things with Letitia. So what happened? What did we get out of that? We got a targeted audience of tech-loving parents, which is great because Domain.me is not only trying to target people who want to start their blog, who are interested in technology, but also kids are interested in creating their own websites. I know personally my little cousin created a website just about bacon. So, if we can present the idea to parents, hey, if your kid wants a domain, check out this site, and then provide some thought leadership around that to create more of a trust in a brand, that really resonates with the readership. On top of that, we did 10 blog posts over a 10-month period. While it wasn't exactly 1 post a month, there was a little bit more congestion around one of the conferences. It still ended up being pretty spread out, combating brand fatigue. So that worked out really well. And then and we estimated about 100 social shares to her community of almost 20,000 on Twitter, 4,000 on Instagram, and 3,000 on Facebook. So she did a lot of work with us there, and it was really amazing. So she officially represented us at 2 conferences, evangelizing the brand and being a representative of us. And so whenever she would talk to somebody there, she'd say, oh, I'm here with .me, the domain name provider, and this is what they do. And she would put that a little bit in there. So the estimated 200 face-to-face interactions from those conferences where the brands were mentioned and discussed was totally amazing, because people really got more of a personal feel for the brand, not just this we're online and we're ephemeral and you don't really know who or what the brand is. She really helped create a nice face for the brand, really helped shape the message. And our clients were extremely happy with this, and they loved everything that Letitia ended up doing and what we did to partner with her. And so I know that we're going to continue to work with her in the future, and we'll continue to work on ambassadorships as well. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me via email and talk to me about ambassadorships, influencer marketing, or whatever it is that you may need. Thank you so much.